Hello everyone, I don't know if you're with me now. Oh, there's 4 of you watching, so good morning. Hope you're well. I don't know who's watching. If you can, just sign in and say hello. Hope you're all enjoying the weather. It's a bit warm here, but at least it's lovely. Blue skies. Hi Nikki. I know not many are going to join in this morning. I'll give them a couple of minutes and then we'll make a start. Morning Moya. Hi Erica. Morning Nikki. Morning Nicola. Morning Susan. I hope you're all well. Morning Brenda. Lovely to have you along too. Okay, I'm trying to get as much light on here as possible for you to see what we've got. As we can see with my card and my little tin can here that we've done, I went with the African theme. Thank you, Erica, from last week. Hello, Helen. Lovely you can join us. That's great. So we've got 11. If any of you are watching that can't chat at the moment, but are on the WhatsApp group, then use WhatsApp. I'm going to check it anyway if you've got any questions. All right, so I'll be flipping between the two. Okay. Right, so this is our can. I've just used it to put my Pergamano tools in. I only have the ball tools and a few of the embossing tools. I don't have anything like you have, Moya, with all of them. Wouldn't know what to do with them. So I'll just move them out of the way. So this is the can. Just an ordinary Heinz soup can. And as you can see, I've stenciled the background, which we'll do in a short while. And then I've gone through and I've put some embossing on, which you couldn't really see in the photograph. Oh yeah, it's catching. You can see the lights being caught on the gold. And I've done all this in brown. I've edged it in brown. I've used different kinds of foliage stamps from Clarity. This is all Clarity this week. Although that stencil wasn't, it was all on Create. I am using the Clarity stencil today. And then we cut a little circle around it to spotlight the giraffe. So that's the can. I have painted inside, but once you start putting stuff inside it, because it's gesso, it can chip off anyway. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. But I guess it's a little better than looking at the metallic of the can. Although some cans I've noticed, particularly the tomato cans, I think, have got a white inside, haven't they? Like a kind of coating. This is the card. So I've made a card to go with the can. Again, stenciling, using some layering, coloured card, anything you've got. And when we open it up, we have like the little Z card inside it. So we have like a little band. Okay, and I've put it higher up in the card so that you can actually write your message. You've got some room to write your message. We can go into bigger cards. I've just kept it the A6 size for us, just to keep it on the smaller side, but obviously we can go higher. I might try a 6x6. We could probably go slightly wider and slightly larger on the band itself for that. Again, the band has been stenciled. Now, I will confess, when I actually did these squares, I'd already cut them up and then thought, I want to stencil them. So I stuck them back together again. So that's why I said you might want to keep the card whole and then we can cut it again, which is what I've done this time round so that we can do all the stenciling together. And I've just used some of the mini stamps. This time I am going to do some floral stuff. I'm going to use the Jane Nestorenko Agapantha stamp set and put some like the butterflies or some extra bits and pieces in here, the grasses, just to make it a little different. And I've used different paper inside as well, which is the clarity paper. So that's what we're going to try and do. I don't know if we'll get the card completely finished, but we'll give it a good go. So we're going to have a look at everything that we need, and then we'll get down to doing the stenciling straight off. So we've got the piece of card for the can, and mine, as I said, was about it's 10.3 centimeters, and I cut it 24.5, so we have the overlap. We then have the strip for the squares, so the strip of card that will become the toppers, which I haven't cut this time. I have a little note on to remind me what size to cut it, at 4.6. And then we have the white card for the topper. So this is for the front of the card. So this will become this. And I then also have the coloured card for the band, for the squares, and for the layering. Okay. And I have my card. Now to make this A6 card, because of the way I went, then it's folded into a tent card. So it's literally half a piece of A4 scored down the short side. So you actually have a long piece of card, and then you score it in the middle, and then we fold it in half. So that's the tent card. And then I've used the back of this paper. So I think we can see there's a theme of purple coming in here this time, and I'm actually going to do pink and purple. I'm not sure how dark I'm going to go this time. I might go paler, or I might just zip it up a bit. I've got both pads out just in case. So that's what we're going to use. So the first thing we're going to look at is the stenciling. Is everybody with me? Everybody okay? Excellent. So let's start with the large stencil first. The large piece of card, should I say, for our can. I'm just going to move these out of the way a minute. My craft room looks like, well, I don't know, a tornado's gone through it, I think. It just needs ripping out and putting back together again, I think, which I will do. It's very daunting having to do that. Now, with these kind of stencils, if you've got the clarity, any stencil will work, absolutely anything. It doesn't matter which one you use. And sometimes actually the masks, as they're known, would be better for this because it doesn't have the edge around it. So if you've got masks that you would rather use, you can do. But what we're going to do, there's a couple of ways we can do it. We can just lay it down on here and stay away from this edge so that we're not going to give it a flat edge. Stay away from that, and we can then just stencil here, move it along and stencil here. You get a little overlap. If you'd rather have the overlaps towards the back, just in case, then we can put it in the middle, and then you'll just have two little edges to do. It's entirely up to you how you want to do this. Here's my can. So you can see that I've got one area here where the stencil it's not really that obvious, I don't think. I know it's there. But on this side, it doesn't really show at all. So I might have got away with that one, which is quite cool. So you can do that. All right, so we could do it just with the one, and I know I did this with the two. So I obviously did it I was obviously more guarded how I actually moved the stencil around on that one. So first thing we're going to do then, think about where you want to put the stencil. If you want to catch a card down, it might be a good idea. You don't have to. If you feel comfortable holding it in place, then you can. Oh, look, I've cut myself. And then we can just hold the can down. Now, there's been some chat on WhatsApp this morning about the blending brushes and blending tools, what works for one person, what works for others. There are so many blending tools out there. I have a couple. One of them's new. I haven't even tried it yet, so I won't be talking about that one for the minute. I just wanted to try something else. I do like using the blending foam, and I know some people struggle using these, and that's okay. I do like using these. The other thing you can do is use your brushes, which you've got your stencil brushes, so you can't even see them. So I can use those, and then the brushes, or you can use, and you can see I haven't really used them. I think I've used one out of this to try it. Makeup brushes. So you can use these these makeup brushes. That's another tool that's on, and some crafting companies have made their own specifically for craft. I don't have one of them. They are more pricey. I haven't bought one, so I don't know what is different about them. I honestly don't know. These were makeup brushes. I think the craft ones have a stronger handle because some of these makeup ones are quite flexible. People have used them, have had no issues with them. People have used them and the handle's broken. So I don't know. That's from reviews that I've seen online. But I will show you this on a separate piece of card once we've got most of the stenciling sorted out, okay? All right, so if you bear with me, we will look at that in a little while. That's particularly for you, Susan, if that's okay. So we'll stick to the other two for the minute, and then I'll show you this afterwards, if you don't mind. Okay, now I was watching another Tim Holtz video. He did a Q&A session. This time it was on oxides. And I learnt some stuff. I'm not going to deny it. It was very interesting, actually. And the big difference between oxides and ink, and the inks, if I've got an ink here as well to use with the brush, is that the inks are a dye, so they are liquid based. Okay, and as you know, they are transparent. The oxides are a mix of dye and pigment, and the pigment are particles. And as you know, they're both water reactive. The ink, when it's water reactive and on the right card, and we'll look at this another day, will wick. So when you spray it, the ink will start to spread out. So that's on like mixed media paper and watercolor card and some papers. If it doesn't wick properly, then the paper has probably got too much chalk in it and it's not good for watercoloring effects. The oxide has the, as I said, the pigment and the dye. So it's a mix of the liquid and the particles. So it is water reactive, but it reacts differently as we've seen. So that the ink will start to wick, yet the pigment inks will start to dry up, and that's where we get the oxidization, the white colouring on top, and that's where that comes from. And he did a really cool demonstration of layering just using one oxide pad. So we'll have a look at that another day. I think we're going to do something with these another day, if that's okay. Now, when you're using brushes and, well, anything actually, any blending tool, you can go from distress ink to oxide. You should never, in fact, don't ever, I don't like using the word don't because our brain doesn't like it, but refrain from ever going oxide to ink. You will ruin your ink pad. The ink will go to oxide. The oxide does not go to ink, so never go that way. So if you only have one set, always clean your brushes. You can wipe them down on a damp cloth or anything and then go between the two. Now he has brushes. I don't know if you've seen the range of brushes. They're like the makeup brushes. And they are natural hair. And he has one set that he uses between ink and oxide, but he cleans them. So once he's used it on one, he will then wipe it off on a damp paper towel, and then he'll use it. So you just get the ink off. So you get in the habit of keeping them separate. So although you can go one way, it's probably better never to do it, because that way you won't get mixed up or forget where you've been if you've already got them clean. Okay, that's just to let you know that bit. So just thought I'd give you that little tidbit of information that I found out. It's very interesting. And as we know, oxides are opaque, so they don't blend the same way as the inks do. So when we're blending, whichever colour is on top will stay on top. To actually blend the colours together, you need to put the ink down on the silicone mat, on this mat, and then use the blending brush to bring them together, and then you'll get a different colour, if that makes sense. And again, we'll go through all of this another day. What we're going to do is concentrate on the card, but I thought I'd just throw this bit in for the minute, just to give you some information that I found out, and then we can look at that another day, if that's okay with everybody. Right, so first thing we're going to do, and you may have already started while I'm chatting away, is to ink up your card. I'm only going to use 2 colours on this one, but you can use obviously the 3 that I mentioned before that I used on my last one, or any amount that you want to do. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. So I'm going to go pink at the bottom and lilac on the top, and they are paler colours. So I'm just going to ink it up so that we get some ink on the foam pad. Where's the camera on here? It's in the middle, isn't it? I forget, the iPad's at the end and this one is in the middle. You get some colour on it. And then, now of course, this is not going to be the easiest way for me to blend, so let's go this way, because we can't actually move it once we're going. And as we're blending, and it's the same, even though we're going over a stencil, start on the mat and come in small circles, just small circles. So we don't have to go large. It does take a little while, just take our time, and we can bring in, start with small circles, and once you've got the small circles, you can then, once the colour is down, you can then start bringing it out a little bit further. Try not to go too close to that edge. I've just done it the one here for now. Right, and then we're going to do the other one. And you don't need a different pad. With these blending tools, you don't need a different one for every colour. You can just get away with using, I'm going to be doing this completely backwards, never mind. Get away with using one per colour family. It's up to you if you want to have extra. I do have extra ones as well. I'm not going to deny that. Apparently it's not necessary. We're just funding Rangers development, which I'm sure they're very happy about. Oh, my card has moved. Hopefully not the stencil. So we get this down. And what we're going to do is do this one, and then we'll also do the other pieces as well. So we get all the colouring of the stencil done first. I'm just going to bring the pink up so it looks like they're merging into together. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that one. And we do the next bit. So hopefully you're all okay with what we're doing. It doesn't matter if it just overlaps a little bit. I don't really want it. Right, we're going to have to go like this. So it is going to overlap, but I don't think it's going to be too big a problem. I mean, of course, if I flipped it, I could probably be pretty close. No, not really. Anyway, let's carry on. Well, I hope you've all had a good couple of weeks. And enjoying this weather. I have to confess it's a bit warm for me, but hey, as I said at the beginning, it's nice to see the blue skies. It just feels very muggy, very humid. That's what we have here, isn't it, as well? That's lovely. At least it's not raining, and we can go out after the workshop. How many of you actually got crafting in the garden? Can any of you do that? I think I'd be worried that everything would start flying all over the place. Right, okay. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. So that's that one. I'm going to put it to the side to dry, and then we can throw some water over it. I don't know if I mentioned bringing a fan brush with you, or have you got any water handy? It doesn't matter. It's not essential. So again, let's get some colour on. Starting off building up in small circles. So get some colour down. So Erica, I'm guessing, are the results being given out yet for your students? I guess they must have done by now. Have they? Have they yet to do that? I know it's quite tricky, isn't it, that they haven't been able to take all their exams. I suppose with nursing, have they still been able to do any exams? Okay, I don't know. There we go. That's the second piece, and then the one that we're going to cut in 4. Now, of course, we've got a smaller one here. So, where's 4.6? We know it's got to be cut at 4.6. And that's around about there. Right, okay. I think this stencil is, I think this stencil is called Tangle actually, from Clarity. Just thought it gave a nice impression. And then just to move it up there. Ooh, probably got enough. Yeah. Yes, yes. Oh, they did do. Yes, they have had their results, and yes, they were able to do the tests. Okay, great. They had to do a virtual one. Very tricky for everybody trying to get exam results, I think. Right. See? Okay. So we're going to end up with messy fingers. Let's see if I just spritz my hand. I'm going to take some of this off. Just going to wipe up the mat as well because this has got oxides all over it now. There we go. Give that a try. Okay. Right, now, probably won't be dry enough. Hopefully these will be dry. If you wish to, flick some water on them and then dab off with a paper towel. This is the time to do it. You don't have to do this bit. So if you don't have it handy, because I don't know if I actually put it on the list, probably not. And then, ooh, oh, that's a big splurge, wasn't it? Just give it a bit of water and then it will start to react. Assuming that this card is okay, of course. This is a different piece of card. I knew. So I'll leave that to sit for a minute. Oh yeah. I've only got little speckles. I haven't drenched it. You can spray it as well. You don't have to have the fan brush. You can spray it. Soaked my equipment now. Okay. So if you are going to pop some water on it, then just do give it a quick blast before we stamp, because we don't want to stamp on damp card. If you haven't done that middle bit's going to be just try and get some bottom there. The fingerprints are on there. Oh, this wouldn't be good, would it? It's going to give me away with the fingerprints on here. Try not to do that. It's not really highly advisable. I'm never going to be able to cover that up now. That's fine. Okay. What we're going to do now then is decide, well, leave the little strip for a minute because that's the smaller stamps. And then we'll work on the can size first and then we'll come back to the other one. You need to think about what kind of stamps you want to use, which ones you've chosen. As I said, I've gone for the flowers this time and some grasses. So I'm going to use maybe them. I think I'll do them. That's quite interesting. Might put a few more in. And if you want, we might put a little bee in as well. Let's see if he fits in okay. So these are the stamps I'm going to use. So grab your stamps. I am going to stamp the Agapanthus. It's not an Agapanthus. This is the Agapanthus stamp. I am actually going to use my platform. I'm not sure if my pad is drying out, so sometimes it's not stamping as I would like it to. So we'll have a go with this. But the other ones I will use blocks for. So think about where you want to actually stamp your image. So roughly where it's going to be on the can. It looks like this is going to hit that middle bit there. Okay, never mind. We can go. So the centre, if you're using a press, then centimetre mark, because you've got that ½ centimetre wrap over. So let's stamp, and I'm actually going to stamp it off the edge slightly on my stamp, and I'm going to try a grey rather than a black. I have got two greys here, so we'll see which one works best. Right, let's get. Okay. I'm going to try the VersaFine colour first. I stamped all the others on the African one in brown. It really doesn't matter. I just decided to use different inks. We have them, or I have them, so I was going to use them. If you've only got black, then just use black. If you fancy using a different colour completely, I could stamp this up in blue, I guess, then fine. Go for it. Right, have I gone too far ahead? Is everybody with me? If you need me to slow down, please say. Right. And it is rather a large stamp, so I'm still going to hold it down a little bit to keep it in contact. So we're here. Hello to the other people that are watching as well. Right, there we go. Am I happy with that? Yeah, I think so. Is that? I might give it one more. Just a little bit of extra cut ink, slightly darker. I just don't want it black in this instance. Oops. Taking all the stamps with me. Okay. Yes, I'm happy with that. I like that. Now, if you're using the press, you might want to do your topper as well, because this is oops. Yeah, I have the pink. So you might want to do this. Where does this sit nicely? I'll move the card rather than a stamp. Oh no, the stamp's going to have to be moved. It's too high. It's gone cloudy again. Oh no, just don't know where the sun is. Right, so let's put our card in place and stamp this one up. And again, you can, now we can put this in the middle if you want to. Yeah, I think we will. Let's get that in the middle. Oh, hello, Lucinda. Hope you had a nice time at your mum's. You had a nice break. And that you're enjoying your breakfast. That was handy. Let's put these stamps out of the way. Oops. Okay. Right. Is everybody at this point? The art box. Hi. Lucinda. Went to Highcliffe Beach yesterday. Home this afternoon. Oh, Lucinda, that's down the road from me. Although I was working yesterday. Hello, art box. Thank you for joining us. Was it very busy, Lucinda? Yes, it is my neck of the woods. It's from here, depending on which bit of Highcliffe you were at. It's what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Not very long at all. I was in Highcliffe on Thursday actually, having an osteopath appointment. So to get down to the beach, which part were you at? Were you near the oh, what is that hotel? The beach hut? No, what is it called? The beach house? I don't know. I always forget where. There's the Cliff House, the beach house, the beach. There's the Noisy Lobster, which is Avon Beach, really, not Highcliffe Beach. It was mod. We sat on the beach and then went down. Oh, blimey, really? It was that busy? Oh, that's a shame. Hopefully you managed to have a good time. And that Bethany enjoyed her little paddle. Okay. So that's that bit then. I'm just going to put this out of the way. Okay. So we have the strip for the can and the card. Is everybody with me? Warncliffe Road. Oh, Lucinda, that's brilliant. Yeah, I think I know where you are. Fighting and knocking the dogs. Brilliant. So glad she had a good time. So glad she enjoyed it. It's nice there. It's sandy that end. This end, Barton and Muddyford is stony. It's more pebbly, should I say? So yeah, I'm glad you had a good time. Do you miss the sea, Erica? Or did you not go anyway? Right, so here we are. So this is what we've got so far then. So we've got the can strip and the card. And is everybody with me? I'm just going to wait a moment to make sure everybody is at the same point. Yeah, I haven't been down this year. We've been once or twice this year. And now I don't want to go because it's too crowded. So we might have to go in the evening just for a walk or something. It's very, I mean, obviously I know people want to come here. And it's a touristy place, so the companies need the money. It's just that we lose our beach. It gets too crowded. And even now it's a bit, you want to be a bit careful, don't you? And Dad's been shielding, so we'll see. We'll probably get down there later in the evening. One day we'll eventually get down there again. Okay. I'm going to move on. Is everybody happy with me moving on? I don't know if Pauline is with us actually because she's had issues with her internet. And Barbara, I don't know if you're watching, but you're on WhatsApp. Right, Helen, you're okay. With it not watching on WhatsApp, but whether you want to chat on WhatsApp, feel free. Okay. So I'm going to put the card to the side for the moment. We need to cut that up first. And we're going to come back to, let's have it facing me, the longer strip. Nikki and Brenda, thank you. And now what we can do, if in case your stamps are dirty, I just always put a plastic bag down. One of the, the stamp bags. I've got a bigger one handy. This will do. And have a little think about where you want to put your stamps. As I said, I'm going to be using grass. Oh, that's too big. I'm not going to use that one. This one is quite nice because it comes off at all different angles. Well, anything can go off at an angle. We can have this. This one might look good coming down a little bit. So you can decide what you want to do. And said I've got this little bee that goes with this one, so maybe I'll plonk a bee. I'll have a bee flying in. And then we can put some of the, and which, well, it doesn't really matter. If you think, because the ink will, oh, it will resist the ink anyway, so it'll be fine. Right, I think I'm going to go that way. Right, so let's get some of the, where's my little one? I think. And then this one on. So if I'm going to emboss, which I will do first, then we need to dust it down so that it hopefully will prevent other bits sticking. So with a static bag or talcum powder, or this has got powder in it as well. It's quite handy, this little thing. There we go, so we can dust that down. Now I used gold before, and that's the one I got out, but I think I'm actually going to go silver because I've gone grey and I'm going to edge it in grey as well. Yeah, I think I'll go with silver. Okay, right. My nice clean VersaFine pad. Yes, who didn't clean their stamp down properly? Ooh, that might be me then. Oh, Nicola. Oh. Oh, that's unfortunate, Nicola. My stamp's not stuck down. Well, that's a shame. Yeah, we wouldn't go down till about 7, I don't think, at least. Maybe that's the trick. You actually did go for a swim. Oh. Sorry it was windy and cold. That's kind of not great, is it? Right. I have no idea what colour is on here. It's obviously coming off of my pad, isn't it? It'll do. It will be fine. Remember, you don't have to have them completely straight. You can have them at an angle. This end for me is going to be the one that overlaps. So I'll do one that, bring it down slightly lower. I've got one there. And let's have another one down here, slightly lower. Nikki, have you heard any more about your holiday? Or are they leaving it to the last minute to let everybody know what's going on? Oh, you're all chatting to Eric. Early morning, yes. I agree, Erica. That does. I've got some stray speckles that I need to get off. Just looking for my little. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. Paintbrush to get these off. Need a new brush. This is splaying too much. Okay. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame, Nikki, but I guess it might be easier to do it next year. Helen. Oh, brilliant. Which beach do you go to, Helen? I mean, I know you're at Chichester. Well, you're not, are you? You're down the road, but... Yeah, I guess it was. I guess it was, Nikki. Right, clear that down. I'm just going to heat this now. As you know, I heat from the bottom. Yes, Brenda, they might have been stuck. There was a lot of traffic, wasn't there? We go to the west end of the dog and the dogs are there. Oh, that's cool. If I can do this on here. Oh, I have now. Oh, internet, what are you doing? Sorry, looks like my internet's playing up again. It's very annoying. Right, once you're stamping, where would you like your stamps? You're going to do them. Let's have a look. You're going to do one in grey. I might do one in grey. Let's give this a bit clean. Let's get the Versa mark off. Right, let's put some of this in. Okay, so then we can go the rest of our stamping. Don't worry about it overlapping, because they would naturally overlap. Might put a little bit in here as well. And then have this one here, I think. Maybe just put a little bit in here. And here. There we go. That's all right. And then I need to do my little bee first, don't I? So I know where to stamp it. Sorry, making you dizzy. Didn't know you were going on a fairground ride when you came today, did you? So I'm going to have it, I think I'll have him here. There we go. And then, yeah, let's use a different one, I think, for the top. I didn't on my other one. I sat to the same grass, but let's have a little bit different. Let's change it up. Oops. Where we want these just to be hanging down a little bit, so we can go. Yeah. Let's try and let it going the other way really, but there we go. And let's just try a little bit of second generation. In the middle there. Yeah, let's have a look at my can. Oh no, I did go bits and pieces around the edges. Just do a couple at the edge, either end of the card. That's actually going to be covered up that bit, isn't it? Okay. Come down here, maybe do one like that, and then distance, and then just have this one, and then one like that. Okay, let's pop that to one side to dry then. And of course, what we can do, actually, we don't have to do it today. What you can do if you wanted to is you could bring colour into your main image so that if you wanted it to stick out further. I'm not. I'm going to leave mine like that. I'm going to let that dry, that ink dry, and then we need to think about our strip. Now I am going to cut these up now, which is going to be interesting. So we cut them up only purely, I don't mean it's going to be interesting from that point of view, but we need, obviously it's going to be quite tricky to get this to 4 points. There we go. If this sits straight, which moving that out of the way would really help, wouldn't it? So this, I've got measurement on left and right here, so I'm just going to go to the right. 4.6. So we want them cut at 4.6. And then, actually, I might go that way this time. Well, in theory, this should be both at the same. This should both, since it's the last piece, and we're cutting it in the middle. There we go. And then we need to decide what stamps we want to put on our little. Now, do we want a greeting on it? Which I think I might probably will do a greeting. So I put best wishes on last time. What else did I put on here? Probably the same actually. Oh, what's what we got? Oh, we could do a thank you instead, couldn't we? Let's change it up. Let's do a thank you. Okay. I'm going to do thank you on one of them. We could do that at an angle. And then take that off. Do the U. So there we go. 2. Right. And then what we're going to put on the inside. So as I said, this Agapanthus comes with a number of different stamps. They don't have to fit exactly, but it looks like the butterfly is going to. I think we might have the butterfly on there. Let's have a look. I might just add a little flower with the thank you there. Do a different flower with that. A couple of those flowers there. And then let me see. Maybe we'll go with a completely different. Well, let's think. If we have this on the front, we could bring this in here. The ladybird, I think, is too big. Don't really need the butterfly. I don't really want. I suppose we could have the bee on twice. Why not? Let's do something like that. So, stamp it either not in the centre or anything like that. We can do that way. We'll be busy this weekend. Okay, hold that in place for a little bit so that the ink makes contact with the paper. Hopefully this is stamped. Yes. And let's do the grasses again. Uh-oh. This hasn't, it's not one of my stamp. Yeah, so let's go like that. And wow, it's very warm in this room. And decided to do it that way. Don't necessarily know. We'll go with just that and that. And then I want to put the little flower with my thank you. I'll switch them round. So I hope everybody's okay. We all on our little 4 squares. We're all doing okay. There we go. Like that. And then this will be the last little bit. Okay. And then just do the bee. my internet breaking up again? It's quite a large bee. There we go. Right. That's fine. So move them out of the way. Okay. So my hands are okay. Let's just give them a quick wipe. Okay. Has everybody got all that bit of the stamping done? Let's just slop the ink off of the make sure everything is all dry. Off of any of the embossing powder. There we go. And on this one, we're now just going to go around the edges, and I'm going to use a grey for this. Is everybody up at this point? Sorry, I'll wait for everybody. To get to this point. Okay. So how are we all doing? Knitting. I even bought more wool this week as well. Can you believe that? I've gone mad doing all the knitting. Oh yes, Cassie had her ear stamping. Okay, Nikki, that's fine. We can wait. Cassie had her baby shower this weekend because originally it was planned that she would be in Florida with her friends. That kind of didn't work out for very obvious reasons, and been on Zoom. So that was nice. So she was able to catch up with her friends in Florida and her family over here, i.e., us. And it was just lovely to see. It was really lovely. She got lots of gifts. Spoiled rotten, which she always is. But no, it was lovely to see her, and she was having fun. She looks good as well, which was nice. So depending on what you're stamping on your little squares, you may want to take either a grey pencil, or depending on what colours you've got, you may want to take a little pencil just to put to ground your images if you need to, like I did with the although the original photograph I sent you, I realised I'd forgotten to do it. So like I've ground my images. If you can see, oh no, internet, don't play up now. So you can just see put on this card. Hopefully you're all back with me now. Okay, how are we all doing? You ready to go on? Well, just going to get some ink on my pad. And my blending tool. So we've got to get, there's no ink on here. I need to get some ink on. Hopefully we've got some on here now. And again now. And again, I'm just going to make sure I don't get sticky fingers. I'm just going to do, I always start in a corner when I'm doing something like this. Start way off the mat and very small circles. Don't need to come too far in. Around. Oh no, have you lost me? Am I back with you now? So was I just talking lots of buffering? Yeah, I know, I'm really sorry, I don't know why. It doesn't, I don't know. Atmospheric pressure? I don't know what causes it. It happened last week as well, didn't it? The other weeks have been okay. So, oh no, it's all cracking up again. Just going around the edge. Oh, Susan, that's not very helpful, is it? I'm just blending around the edge at the moment. That's not very helpful. I don't know what's going on. I'm losing everything. I'm watching on the iPad so I can see what you've got, hopefully. And the picture is up. And I'm checking on the Mac and it seems okay, the laptop. Okay, Erica. I might have to try that. It's very annoying. It hasn't done it. Did it last week, but it was being fine up to then. I'll have to have a look at this. Oh, keep it small circles. Unless you want to come in any further. Oh, we're back. So I'm just doing it. I'm just going to go around the edge like that. That's what I've done. Oops. So you can see I've just so there you can see I've got some blending around the edges here, okay? Just gonna come in slightly further. we go. Right. When we've done that, we'll put that to the side then. I don't know how many. From 2 p.m. Yes, that's very true, Erica. We had that problem at work. We used to joke about saying, "Oh, America's woken up then." Yeah, it is very annoying when that happens. I just don't understand why it's happened these last 2 weeks, because before then it was fine, but I'll have to have a little look. What's even more weird is that the room I'm in is where the router is, so it's not like I'm even away from the router. The router is what, 12 inches from here, from the kit that I'm using. So it's something I'll have to have a look at. Okay, I don't know how far any of you have got now. Have we edged out can card? There's a couple of people. Okay. Okay, Nikki, is that you with me or me with you? So you're ready. You're here. Okay, has everybody sorted that out? Right. What we're going to do now is that I'm going to use. Thanks, Nikki. I'm going to use a mask around this stamp here, and we're just going to do a highlight around it. So we're going to spotlight it on the card. I'm going to actually use the brush to do this. I mean, you can use a makeup sponge. Actually, that might be better. Let me just grab a makeup sponge, which I did have in front of me. Where did it go? Oh, where's it gone? Okay, well, I'll get another one then. There we go. Right. So I'm going to use a makeup sponge. I do have a piece of acetate I've cut out for this so I can see, but the cloudy mask will work just as well, and actually a piece of card will work if you know it's covering up. And then from the acetate, we're just going to, oops, see, a brush wouldn't be quite as heavy, thick as this, but oh well, never mind, eh? Will just come out. I'm just gonna give it a highlight. The further back, of course, you start, the less ink you're going to have on your sponge when you get there, which is why mine's gone wet too thick. I think you get the. See, I'm showing you what not to do and how to do it in the same move. Start further back. It doesn't really matter. If you want a darker one, hold the acetate in place. And then come out. No, am I buffering again? Sorry about this, guys. There we go. And the acetate moved as well. Right, so there we have spotlighted our main image, which in front of me doesn't look too bad. On the camera it looks a mess, but it doesn't look that bad in front of me. Probably needs to be a little bit smoother. So you get the gist. This could make it worse if I go back in, but you would hold it like this and then come in from, and then flick out. Okay. The acetate just helps you see where you're going. There we go. Right, that's okay. I don't mind it looking like it. Kind of looks like a sun aura that. Okay, this is pixelating very badly. I will see what I can do with the Ethernet next time, see if I can get that. I've got to find my Ethernet now. Where the heck's my Ethernet cable? Good question. In this bathroom is some Ethernet. Hopefully I've still got it. Okay, are you all back with me? And then when we do have the sunburst, then we just go around the edge again, blend in. This will get better as I get more ink on my pad. Trouble with using a new one. So very small circles to start with. So blending, breaking up all the time, isn't it? This grey ink is. There we go. Let's get this a bit thicker. There. And here we go. Oh, every time I'm looking up, it's pixelating. Hoping you're. And this sponge is so new. The ink is dragging. There we go. It's a bit better. So as I said, I've used the grey on this. I don't know. Are you back with me? I don't know if you heard or saw what I was doing. I'm just using the ink pad to ink around the squares, edges. Just a tiny little bit of ink, not too much. Just to give it a little bit of, right on the very edge, so it's just to break it up from the backing card slightly. Although depending on the backing card, and we're on white card, you might be all right. Oh, so there we go. I think you want a little bit more. Go back. Right. I'm hoping you're with me. I don't know if you are or you're not. So now we're going to start just sticking everything down. Clean the mat off. You can have that like that. So now I'm going to look and see where I'm going to put my. All right, the bumblebee can just come out like that. So I'm going to spotlight the image on the main image that's going on the can. Depending on what you've done, in fact, we could just, it's going to chop my little bee off if I go too low. But depending on your size, you can come much lower and we just cut the rest of the circle off. Or if you want it all the way or as far up, then that's fine. Or even all the way. Totally up to you where you would like to put it. Hopefully I've got some glue. Come on, glue. Okay, nothing coming out of that one. Right. So then place it where you want it. Ooh. Let's have glue everywhere. I'll leave that to dry for a minute. And then, oh, when we're ready, we can just chop. You can chop any bits off that aren't with the card. Just do this bit. Once that bit's done, away the rest of the card, rest of your circle. And then we're going to add it to the can. So hopefully what you can think about. It doesn't really matter where we're going to put it. So we're going to put it around like this. It might help just to hold it like that, give it a little bit of shape in. Then we're going to put some glue on. So we want some red liner tape and some. You don't have to have it, but the 3D gel holds it in place, and that gives it extra stickiness, if you like. So grab your red liner and away we go. I'm using, it doesn't really matter what width you use, but I am using 9mm here. So it's slightly wider. Well, it comes in 3, 6, 9 and 12, I think, doesn't it? I suppose you can get it a little bigger, but okay. Find the end of the tape. Now, these scissors have already got glue on them, so they're tacking. They're all tacky, so they're sticking as I'm trying to cut. Oh, and then sides. Got a bone folder. A little bit too long there. And hopefully it'll be easier to get off. Right. This one off there. So if we just rub it, it takes away some of the static, so it becomes easier to get off. Spin it. Too much static. Add a bit of tape there. There we go. And then these pieces. This one is a little longer, so we can cut that off. Are you back with me? Gosh. So if you didn't see it, I rubbed the tape with a bone folder, and it makes it less staticky. There we go. And then to give it I'm just going to put some 3D gel as well. If you don't have any of this, if you just want to use the sticky tape, then you might want to put a little bit extra down. And then we're going to take our can, fit the card in, and then keeping it within the rim. Remembering which side you want to actually be on the outside. You can always hide this as well with some ribbon. If you want to put some ribbon or some lace or something round down there, then you can. And there, we've turned a soup can or a baked bean can or any other kind of can into a little holder, into a pen holder or makeup brush holder or crafting brush holder, anything like that. Have I lost you all again? Yeah. I'm going to oh, not a frame. Oh, sorry. Oh dear, Nikki, never mind. So that's like that. And then with the card, and I'm conscious that this is all cracking up and everything, so are you still with me on this? Hopefully you can see all this bit. I'm going to go with the brushes as well. It is a very, I find it a very soft blend as well, Nikki, when I've used mine. We'll have a look. Okay, so now we can put the card, hopefully you're with me, so now we can put the card together. We'll sort that out in a second. So fold the base in half. And then I'm going to we go the opposite way? It's pink at the top, purple at the top. Let's have a look. I'm going to go, because the band is purple, I'm going to put the pink at the top this time. So we're going to go along here. So we just need to add these in, tape or glue. So just gluing the paper down. And you have a couple of millimeters layer around it. Oh, I've just done that. I was going to do it the other way around, wasn't I? Well, I guess I could turn the card around. There we go. So it actually sits that way. So I have the pink at the top now. There we go. Then your topper onto your card layer onto your front of your card. Okay, and then onto the card. So you can use tape, which of course you know I usually do use tape. I'm just going to use glue in this instance. Which is why I don't use glue. And then, right, okay, I'm going to have to try and do that. Hopefully it's not buffing too much and you can see what I'm actually doing. Okay. Right, and so with this strip, now technically you don't need to score, well, it depends on your card, but technically you could get away with it just by folding it in half and then in half again. But if you want a crisper fold, then I would suggest that we, you've just seen. So we're going to fold in half and then fold the two edges in half again. So this should be about 14.85 is the middle. Oh, that one. 14.85 should be the middle of this strip because it's the length of A4. I'm going to score. Okay. So put that in half, and then you want half again, which is going to be about 7. And what was it? Need some maths now. 14.85. So if that's 9, that's 7.4 and a bit is where it is roughly. Okay, and we're going to score into the centre here. That's it. 7.4 and a bit. There we go. And then score that. So we've got a piece of card. We've got a piece of card like this. And you can't see me. Yes, can you see it? So you're going to end up with a piece of card like this. if I say it very quickly. All right. I'm just wondering if it's not picked this up. Okay. So in your card, we're going to glue the ends of the W down onto the card. So in actual fact, it's going to come out this way. This is your W. Well, it looks like an M, but that's the W. So we're going to glue these bits down onto the card. And we're not going to go right to the edge. You can go to the edge, but if you do, then your centre bit may pop out the extra side of the card, so it sticks out a little bit. So on here, hopefully on my card, the other card I made, you'll see that the yellow strip comes in line with the paper topper. So you can see it here. So it's in line with the actual paper edge, not the edge of the card, so that when you fold it, it's the fold bit stays in the middle of the card. If you go out a little bit, it may stick out. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. We're going to glue this bit down here and this bit down here. Which is the best part of the card, so we're going to go this way. We need to get it even, says she. So we can use a ruler to get that even. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to stick these two edges, these ends of the W, go down onto the card. Okay, like this. So that's what we're going to glue in now. Wow, what's happened with this glue? It's dried up that quickly. That's how warm it is then. There we go. Let's do this bit first. Decide where we're going to put it and make sure we've got enough room with our little piece of card in, so it's not going over the top of the card. So we're going to glue that bit in like that. Okay. Goodness me, it's just moved. And then our little square goes there. Oh, actual fact, of course, it's going to be this square that goes there. Like that. Yeah. Plenty of room. And then we get the next one layered up. The next one glued, should I say. So we glue this one down. Opposite it. So we'll get this level. When you shut it, then it's hidden inside the card. So we've got these two ends here. So it's enough room for our layers. They are sitting higher, but that's fine. Okay. And then what we're going to do now is glue all these on, which you could do before. I'm trying to show you as much as I can for you to be able to see this. don't want that, Angela. Be careful. Don't do what I've just done. You only want the middle bit of your card with the glue on because it's going to sit on the band. Wait for that to dry. Let's do these others first. Gosh, I don't know if any of you have seen any of this. If you can hear me, I'm layering up the squares. So I've done this again. You can always colour everything. It doesn't. You can do whatever you want in here, really. So think about where you want to put your strip, and then just glue along the middle. Level. So as I said, this is, you want to get it in exactly the same place. A little trick. You want to get it in exactly the same place is you can layer it on the other one. Face your toppers down like this, and then fold the card over it. Okay, and then, as I say, it's probably a lot easier, Angela, if we'd stuck these down first. I just want to, I wasn't thinking, wasn't you? Oh, I've done it again. Clearly not thinking. I'm putting way too much glue down. So put it in the middle. Oops. We're just gluing in the middle. Okay, put in that. It should be. Looks like that's moved anyway. Fine. This one. Put that level, and then we're going to put the next one on. Oops. Well, it would help if it was level, Angela. Get them as square as possible. So probably a lot easier to put these on first. I don't know why I did it this way. I think probably I saw somebody do it this way, and I haven't even thought about doing it the way that is more sensible. Sticking them down first. That way, at least you know. There we go. Got them tight, and there's your card. Okay, Nicola. Here we go. So you can put these on before you stick your band down, which would be the down, which would be the more that. So here's your card, and here's your can. Here's the card, and here's the can. Is everybody with me? Have you seen any of that? Did you see anything at all? So there we go. I'll make sure that everything's all working in here next time, and I'll see if I've got my Ethernet. May actually, as Nikki says, as Erica said, connect on the Ethernet. have to have a little play. It's been quite a while since I set up a network. But anyway, there we go. So that's that. Now, Susan, what I'll do is, with these brushes, I'll just show you. Before you disappear, Susan, I was going to show you the brushes. Do you want me to show you the brushes? This strip here, Helen, is 2.5 centimetres, I think. Hang on a second. You can make it as wide as you like, really. Then your toppers will have to be wider. Yeah, this is 2.5 centimetres. And it's a full A4 length. So it's a length of A4, the size of your card, basically. Okay, I'm just going to show Susan that people wanted to see the brushes. So I had a spare piece of card out. Oh, well, get another piece of card out. Here we go. So I'm going to show Susan. This is the brush. You can see how it's made up. Can you see that? Okay, it's still pixelating, isn't it? I don't know. It's trying to show you how the hairs are. There we go. It's dense. It's a load of. Okay, Susan, hopefully you can see this. So I'm trying to show you the way the brushes are made up. Oh, where's my camera? Yeah. It just I don't know what you're seeing, because all I can see on my iPad is it's pixelating. So there you go. And then we just rub. Get your paint in. And then you can blend with it like this. So that's with the oxide. And then, if we're going to use ink, I'll use another brush. So that's the oxide. And then I've got a different brush here. And again, stop pixelating. We can see that it's got all these, it's made up of thousands and, well, I don't know how many really. Thousands and thousands of these little hairs. And this is ink. So now I'm going on to, I am using distressing. I mean, you can use it with any pad, but. And then this is ink. And this is aged mahogany, this ink. So you can see you get a softer blend, definitely. We just add more colours, same as blending really. So this is the brushes. There we go. This is that's with the tool, and that's with the brush. And obviously the more ink you add, the deeper the colour's going to go. Okay, but that's how they work. I don't know if that helps any. Okay, well, as I said, these were makeup brushes from Amazon. I got them. I mean, they did have to come from China. As long as you don't put too much pressure on the handles, I think you're all right. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I know we keep breaking up here, so we'll call it a day. I'll be in touch about the next one, which will be in 2 weeks' time, about what we're going. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm sorry this has kept breaking up. I don't really know what the issue is. I will investigate, because it didn't happen when we first started. So I don't know if I haven't flicked a switch, or whether it's just the weather or too many people are using it. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll have a look. And I'll try and figure it out so that we don't do it at all. Yeah, Brenda, they may be. Some people do find these a lot easier to use than other blending tools. And as I said, I didn't buy them. They are makeup brushes, is how they're sold. Oh, that's good. Thanks, Moya. Yeah, we'll try and fix the buffering for next time. But thank you very much, and I'll leave you um, with a picture of our card and our can. There we go. So two very different colours. I think I might prefer my Africa one, but you know, you have to try different things, especially as it went well. It went better. Maybe I'll just finish with this. So here we go. Bye.